Good afternoon and welcome to the Fixed Wing Guide channel. My name's Stuart Lomas. For the first time for a few days, I'm going to say it's an absolutely miserable afternoon here in Manchester. Beautiful morning, went for a walk, enjoyed it greatly, enjoyed the sunshine, listening to the birds sing, but now the birds have shut up and the clouds have come over. Typical Manchester, but what do you do? What I want to talk about this afternoon, I've been kind of just following the trend on Twitter today, and it appears that today is the first time that the Apple iWatch, or whatever they're going to call it, is now in people's hands. One of the people I follow is a tech guru, a very nice girl, a lady called Janice Phillips, and she has got hers delivered today. She's a big Apple fan, even though she talks about Android and other such technologies. And my confusion really where the iWatch is concerned is I don't really have a problem with smartwatches, I suppose. You know, back in the 70s, I was probably one of those that had the old digital watch where you had basically a black, what looked like a complete opaque black dial, and you pressed a button and the time came up, the old digital watches. I thought I was the bee's knees with one of those. And then of course, you know, in the late 70s, early 80s, I had my Seiko Digital, which had alarms and things like that, which was fairly smart for its day. And over the last, I guess, 12 or 18 months, there's been different versions of smart watches out there. I think the problem that I've got with the Apple Watch is they're trying to portray it as the next evolution of watches. Am I right there? I'm trying hard to come up with a phrase, but I think that's probably as close as I can get it. Now, the problem I have with that view, if indeed that is the view of Apple, is that what I think they're trying to do, because they're credited with the creation, as it were, of the the smartphone craze. And I guess to a certain extent, that's right, because before that, all you had were your basic phones and what were known at the time as feature phones, which did slightly more than just your basic cellular telephone. When the iPhone came along, of course, it was a complete revelation, and then everybody jumped on the bandwagon and made their own version, and now we've got the two-party thing, Apple on one hand, of course, and Android on the other. And I think partially what they're hoping now is that they will have such a similar influence that they will become one half of watch culture, and mechanical automatic watches will become the other half, as it were. Now, I find that a little bit tricky to accept because they are essentially a design house. Apple make very little of what goes in to their phones and now watches. I guess they subcontract it out to China and it's made there, so they write down on pieces of paper or on computer-aided design and send it across, and it's manufactured. So I think them hoping they're going to have the same kind of influence on the horological side of the thing that they had on mobile telephones is a little bit of a reach. As I said in one of my last videos, Axes to Grind, I do have a bit of an axe to grind with Apple. I do feel as though they are rip-off merchants. I really do. I'm sorry, and I know there are a lot of Apple fans out there, and this video will upset them. But we are all entitled to our opinions, and I kind of don't see what you're getting for all the money. But from what I've seen, the Apple Watch does many things. You know, it basically is a clone of your mobile phone. You can have varying numbers of different types of dial on there, whether you want just a conventional dial with Arabic numerals, or whether you want kind of a digital dial, or whether you want to, I think there's even a dial with Mickey Mouse, like the original Mickey Mouse watch. I think it was Bulliver made in the 1930s or 40s, I think. So you can have all of those things, plus all the functionality that the digital world gives you, and I think that's fine. But I think where they're kind of barking up the wrong tree is by hoping that they're going to have massive influence over people like us, you and me, who are dedicated to the beauty, the brilliance, and the engineering precise building of a machine, basically, that you can wear on your wrist. And I think if I remember rightly, I did mention something about this on Twitter. When they launched the Apple Watch, whoever it was, I can't remember the fella's name, but he said, the wristwatch is dead, the Apple Watch is here. You know, so he basically said in one small sentence that Apple had demolished all mechanical watch production in one fell swoop. And the arrogance of that amazes me, but I think that one statement was indicative of Apple. They appear to be right up their own arses, really. I have no doubt they're a good company, and that is demonstrated by their profit margins. But they pull people in my view, under false pretenses, and once they've got you because their equipment doesn't work with anything else. It's not compatible without jiggery-pokery of software with Android. You have to have your own cables and so on and so forth. Now, I've not heard as yet, because the Apple Watch is so new, whether there similar restrictions with the Apple Watch. You know, can you only use it if you've got an iPhone? I assume so. Can you only put things on it if you've got an iTunes account? I assume so. But the money, I think the cheapest one is something like £9,000. I don't see where they've got that figure from. I don't see how they're justifying that amount of money for what is, when you break it down, just a very, very fancy digital watch. I realise that I'm opening myself up to be lambasted here by the dyed-in-the-wool Apple fans, but that's kind of what I see. I can't see that any true timepiece lover, and when I say that, I'm including everybody. It doesn't matter whether you spend, you know, €350 on a Steinhardt, or, you know, 4, 5, 6 grand on an Omega or a Rolex. It doesn't matter to me what you spend. I can't see that they're going to make any inroads with people like us. One of the things that I do find of interest, and I will get a web link and I'll put it in the description. There is a company called Kairos, Kairos, who manufacture and market a smartwatch, but it operates with what's called smart glass. The actual sapphire, for want of a better term, is smart. But beneath the smart glass is a mechanical watch. So it kind of bridges the gap seamlessly. I will try to find the web link for the advertisement I saw for the Kairos, because I was amazed. It's brilliant, because when you're not using the smart functions, it looks and operates just like a mechanical watch. And for me, if you are kind of considering going down the route an Apple Watch, but you're thinking, oh well, you know, I don't really want to go down the complete electronic route, and you would like some form of middle ground where perhaps you're feeling you're not being treasonous or treacherous to the mechanical watch fraternity. Perhaps the Kairos is the way to go. I found it very, very attractive. They do a number of them. They do I think they do a couple of stainless steels. I think they do a yellow gold, and I also think they do a rose gold, if I remember rightly. But I will find the thing that I saw before I publish this. I'll find the actual web link for what I originally saw, and let me know what your feedback is, because I quite liked it. It seems to fit fairly easily with me without betraying my love for mechanical watches. I would like to hear from you about your views of the Apple Watch, where you think that they anticipate it's going to fit in within all this, you know, our love of horology, as it were. I find it being a little bit of an awkward cousin, that they're trying hard to make it feel legitimate, if that makes sense. I think that Apple are hoping that it will find a niche with us, the watch nutcases. With me, no. A Kairos, maybe. I'm going to look it up and see what you think. It's a difficult one. I appreciate it's a difficult one. A lot of the Twitter feed was, oh, I can't wait to get in the queue for my new Apple Watch. Really? A queue for everything? But why queue for everything Apple? I don't understand it. You know, if you're queuing for Apple stuff, you need to fill your life with other things. You know, go and help distribute sandwiches to the homeless. You know, it will enrich your life more than buying an electronic product, you know. But let me know if you've seen or know more. I'm sure there's somebody out there knows more about the Apple Watch than I do, because my disinterest overpowers my need to find out information about the Apple Watch. But that's it, really. I was just amazed about how many Twitter feeds were saying, oh, it's arrived, or I'm going to queue up for it today, and no. So, as always, folks, for this one, any questions, any queries, down below. Really interested to find out your views on this, and I shall look forward to hearing from you. For now, might make another one later on. Thanks a lot for listening. Bye-bye.